Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Today I'm going to take you on a journey a little bit deeper down the indie fragrance rabbit hole. I hope that's okay. That's where I'm at right now. I have one of my favorite perfumers is Prin Lomros. And those of you who followed the channel know that I've talked about him quite a bit. He's the nose behind Stranger's Parfumerie, Prissana Parfums, and the House of Prin, and I think a few others as well, but I'm going to focus on those. And he's released some other fragrances. There are newer offerings, at least newer to me. I haven't explored them yet, so I've been spending some time with those, and I'd love to take the opportunity to answer some of your questions that you've sent me about Prin fragrances, and maybe you could give me your thoughts where I am considering full bottles of the newer to me releases that I've been testing. Just a quick word, I am in no way affiliated with Prin Lomros, any of his perfume houses. All of these fragrances were purchased with my own money at full retail price. None of them came to me gifted by any seller or in the form of PR, nothing like that. So there is absolutely no agenda. I just think this is a great perfumer who has tremendous offerings. And also, I want to describe them a little bit differently for you. In some instances, I'm able to say, hey, if you like this fragrance over here, you'd like this one from one of Prin's houses. I know for me that often helps me to understand a little bit better what's going on with fragrances, especially if the profile is different. And all of these are pretty different. They're very unusual. I'm able to point to a few other fragrances to give you a general idea, but in any event, that's the direction the video is going to go. Let me just also say that I wanted to share a little bit more about myself with you at the end of the video, something about me that's a little bit personal that I haven't talked about before. Maybe it will help you to get to know me a little bit better. I've been so completely flattered by some of the questions just about me and who I am, and wow, it's lovely to know that you're curious about me. So I'll share another tidbit of information at the end of the video. Stick around. I think it's a good one. So don't go away. All right. The fragrances I've been testing are, in case you've heard of these, I will go over them in a little more detail, but Keerati by Parfums Prissana, Persephone by Prin, Sgail by Prin, L'Ombre d'Air by Parfums Prissana, and I said earlier Prissana Parfums. Apologies, it's Parfums Prissana, and Emerald Curry by Parfums Prissana. I'm also going to touch on a fragrance that I've mentioned in the past that I own a bottle of. It's Onthamara, and I've gotten some questions about this one. I think primarily because it is no longer being offered through mainstream retailers. I think you might be able to get it on the secondary market somewhere. It was a limited release. So let me start with that one before I jump into the testing. What would be an alternative to this incredible fragrance? By the way, this is a very dark musk amber. Gosh, it's got a lot of animalics, orris butter. It's got some camphor, but I don't care for camphor, and I love this stuff, so it's not a main player. I think it's just for balancing. It's got, choya rall, which I'm not really familiar with. Lovage root, I'm familiar with it, but I couldn't necessarily say that I've ever seen it in perfumery before. There's Jadamancy, not familiar with that one. Coleus root. So a whole lot going on in this to give you what is ultimately like I said, a rich, dark, oud forward, musk embellished fragrance bomb. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible, but hard to get. So what do you do? Well, if you love that scent profile, you may want to consider, from the same house, Anatolia. Not as dark, but this is a leather date amber incense, cocoa, suede, honey, apple oud. Very rich, very, very smoky. If you like the incense, perhaps from Manishtana, and you don't want to go as smoky, you like more of a leather note, this would be for you. I think this one goes for about $160. This is 30 ml extrait de parfum. Another option for an alternative to Onthamara from the same house is Sahar. Now, this is not the same, again, not the same fragrance at all, but it's from, by the way, these are both, well, sorry, this is Prin, this is Parfums Prissana, same nose. But this is a 30 ml extrait de parfum, and the notes in this are amber, olibanum, myrrh, cumin seed, cinnamon, rose, mint, atlas cedar, and dates. Yeah, it's sweeter. It's very dark, very rich. It's more resinous for sure. The cumin seed is not in your face. It just kind of balances out the richness of the resins in here. Between the myrrh, the amber, the olibanum, that can be very heavy. The cumin balances it with more of a human accord, if you know what I mean. But it's not pronounced. If you're, if you're thinking like armpit or something like that, no, not at all. Gorgeous stuff as an alternative, not as thick, not as heavy, not as dark as Onthamara, but it's leaning in that general direction. And then finally, I'd recommend Nimitr from Parfums Prissana. This is also 30 ml extrait de parfum. There we go. Okay. And this one is leather, castoreum, apopanax, cinnamon, tobacco, incense, oak moss, vanilla, and plum. Probably the sweetest of the three I've just shown as an alternative to Onthamara. It is pretty dark. I really, really like this, and this is probably what I would choose as the best alternative to Onthamara if I couldn't wear Onthamara. All right, so I hope that helps. If you are not into Prin or are looking beyond his fragrance houses to an alternative for Onthamara, you may want to consider Francesca Bianchi's Byzantine Amber. Why won't anything? Okay, there we go. This is rich, dark, much, much sweeter than the Prin offerings, but it's definitely leaning in the direction of Onthamara relative to the amber and musk together. The sweetness of the amber, the richness of the musk. There's far less in the way of animalics in here. I suppose there could be an orris butter offsetting some of that richness and adding sweetness to it, but another good option. Again, not even close to being, fragrance twins or anything like that. But, would it scratch that itch? Yeah, maybe. All right. Moving on to fragrances I'm testing. Interesting, from the house of, where is it? Okay, it is, Here we go. Keerati from Parfum Prissana. So this is a sample. This, I'm not looking at the notes, okay? I am just, for these samples, I'm just telling you what I'm experiencing. This is an aldehydic fragrance offering that is unlike any I've experienced from this perfumer. Doesn't mean there aren't other aldehydic offerings from him. I just haven't experienced them. I haven't tried everything he's done. In fact, I'm telling a lie. There is one, there's an aldehyde coming out of Stranger's Parfumerie. It is a fruit-forward aldehyde. I forget what it's called. I'll put it in the notes. It's fruity. It's, in fact, there are two, now that I think about it. So there are a few, but not like this. This is dark, rich, a heavy balsamic green, and it is not sweet at all. No way. It's like a dark, there's lots of cedar, there's not so much pine, like traditional pine sap, but a heavy dark foliage offset by aldehydes. I think it's amazing. Beautiful stuff. If I had to compare it to a non-Prin fragrance to give you an idea, let me see. Maybe, hang on. All right. These two. Yep. Classics. So we've got Rue Cambon from Chanel and Chanel No. 5. The non-sweet, dark sparkliness, the aldehydes in here. If you like that levity that fragrances with aldehydes give you, you might appreciate Keerati. Completely different underpinning with the dark foliage, but that lift, right? The heavy florals in the Chanels versus the heavy greens in Keerati, lifted by the aldehydes. Beautiful stuff. Have you tried it? If so, what do you think? Next, this one is completely wild. It's Emerald Curry. Oh my gosh. And this is Parfum Prissana. There is first of all, it doesn't smell like curry, not even a little. So forget that. This is fresh cut spring flower, like the stalk of a daffodil or a tulip, with a hint of dandelion. There's a soft edge to it. Maybe it's an iris, but ever so slight. It's not powdery. It just takes the sharpness of the fresh cut green and lowers the volume on it. Maybe a hint of turmeric. And it feels light as a feather. It's incredible. I've often gotten a green meets rice out of this perfumer, but there's no rice in this. Not that I'm detecting. But it's that spring green, that smell of chlorophyllc life. That's what you're getting in this. Extraordinary, extraordinary stuff. Wow. I'm telling you, if you have not tried this house, I don't even know what to compare this to. I have nothing. I have nothing that scratches the surface of this, which is what motivates me to go full bottle, especially with this house. Because, and tell me if I'm wrong, you know, definitely call me out and say, no, 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 I've smelled it and this is, you know, an alternative, you know, so that I could say, hey, if you like this, then you're going to like that. Tell me what, you know, the this is in that scenario, right? If Emerald Curry is the that, what's the this? It's a lot of those. Wow, amazing, amazing stuff. This is nature at its new and finest hour. Wow, beautiful stuff. All right, moving on, we've got L'Ombre d'Air. This one I sprayed on skin. There was something familiar about it. Brace yourselves, okay? You're not seeing this one coming. Yep, Diaghilev. Is it the same? No. Does it have a similar scent profile? Yup. Oh my God. This is, how do you capture how spectacular this is? Worth every outrageous dime I spent on it. And I would do it again. I love this stuff. What does it have that's similar to L'Ombre d'Air? The animalics, the hint of cumin, the vintage florals, but the L'Ombre d'Air has, it's greener. Yeah, there's a green in this. It's not a balsamic green. It's a heavy, waxy, tropical, vegetal green. So imagine banana leaf, I guess, I think. But real banana leaf, like the kind that you wrap, gosh, I think sometimes there's like a poi dish where there's like a filling and it's poi and they wrap it up in a banana leaf and they roast it like in a pit, right? I think I had that when I was in Tahiti. It's like that kind of banana leaf going on with this very lightly in the background. Again, not the same. But if you like this, you're probably going to like L'Ombre d'Air. If you want the strength of this, no. This is a lighter version. Again, it's got that green. It's not Jicky. It's not Mitsuko either. This is more green. Okay, so don't think it's one of those if you're a fan of Diaghilev. It's not. But it leans in that direction. So again, have you tried this? What do you think? Definitely, I'm going to pull the trigger tonight with this one. I got to get a full bottle. Gorgeous stuff. Next, we've got, let's see. All right, Persephone. Persephone is it's a dark offering from Prin. It's got more carnal intimacy to it. It's a sexy one. I think that's why it's getting the buzz that it is. I've definitely read about it, you know, in these kind of indie bloggy type things. If you like this, Femme Rochas, if you like this, Salome by Papillon, you'll probably like Persephone. It leans in that direction, and it's got a cumin bite. If you don't like cumin, tread lightly. This is definitely one I recommend trying before buying. For me, I have gotten my fill with this and this. I'm good. I don't think I need Persephone. I could be wrong, because now that I smell them all together, there's something else going on here. And it's a little more animalic. By the way, let me know how you feel about animalics. I hesitate to go there, but let me know if you think I should, because I do have some thoughts about them. Persephone from the House of Prin. Next, we've got Sgail, Sgail. Okay, this one is so unusual. This is a warm, steamy, humid, and what's cooking in the background? Something's cooking. Rice. But I can tell you, it's not basmati. You know the rice that's kind of like the plain white Carolina rice? You know, it kind of lacks a lot of depth, but if you overcook it, it gets like glutinous and pasty. Kind of smells good. Kind of smells comforting. Kind of smells like, you know, what mom used to make way before basmati became a thing, or jasmine. There's that. There is a tiny hint of cumin, ever so slight, barely there, to kind of give it definition around the edges. It's all of those things, right? The humidity, the depth, the heaviness of the aroma of cooking Carolina plain white rice. And just a tiny hint of an animalic, maybe a hyrax in there, maybe. I think it's cumin. Maybe both. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Have you tried Sgail by Prin? Then we've got, I already did Keerati. I think that may be it. Those may be the ones I'm testing. That may be all of them. Yes. Okay, so there is one other that I wanted to talk to you about that I'm testing. It is not from the House of Prin, but I am testing it at the same time. It's also rich, dark, heavy, but a completely different experience. This does not have the Prin Lomros DNA, but I just got it, and I have to know what you think of it if you've tried it. This is Rogue Parfumerie's Mousse Illuminee Grand Cru. Oh yeah. So they've had Mousse Illuminee before, which is an oak moss heavy fragrance. It's a very dark, woody but mossy green. And there is, you know, a regular version, and then there's this. This, you know, Grand Cru kind of implies, you know, it's the, you know, the best of ingredients in this genre. Super rich, super dark, green, not piney, not balsamic. It is a concentration of dark deciduous leaves and moss. Have you tried this? This takes many hours for me to reach its base notes, which are completely different. It's almost floral in a good way. For me, florals are lovely. You know I love florals, right? Except I can't wear most of them, but it's like a floral I can wear. Yeah. The woodiness goes away. but it takes like 3 hours for me. Have you ever had this experience? Have you tried this stuff? Let me know in the comments. I'm not leaning full bottle on this, by the way. It is expensive and it's limited, a limited number of offerings. I shouldn't say it like that. A limited production, yes. And I believe you can only buy one bottle at a time. I'm not sure how they monitor for that sort of thing. But what do you think of Rogue Parfumerie's Mousse Illuminee Grand Cru? Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today with Prin and this Rogue Parfumerie Grand Cru. I promised at the end I would share something about myself. First, sincere apologies for the pivot on the Rogue fragrance. I just thought, hey, I'm testing it at the same time. Let me just ask. It's ultra niche too, right? Or way indie. Again, these are all intended to go deeper down that indie rabbit hole. Yeah. The personal thing I wanted to share about myself is this. I am an Alabama fan. Yes. Roll Tide. I don't mean to offend anyone. But it is something that my family and I are somewhat passionate about. We're not enormous sports people, but we are Crimson Tide people for sure. Be kind. Got to back a winner, right? Well, maybe not last season, but I can't wait to hear your comments. No hating, please. And hey, definitely, I've fallen a little bit behind on my my responses to comments, but I will catch up. I wasn't feeling too good the past few days, and I definitely miss the back and forth with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And hey, if you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.